Chris and Karen Biddles have been farming in Northland for many years and have had great success in the stake of origin competition. They've cleared scrub and put in drainage to increase productive pasture area. As well, they've bought an adjoining property. Their Angus stud had grown over time, but the Biddles have now reduced it for more efficient operation.
We've been a breeding finishing operation forever, and for the last 27 years we've had an Angus stud which has increased considerably in the last 10 years. This year we've got 300 to calve, and we'll probably go down to 270, which is the aim to provide 100 yearling bulls for our annual sale in September. And we also have 200 crossbred cows. The shape of this original farm was difficult. The house is on one end and we're about 6 kilometres long. When we bought the piece at the other end, it made it a lot better. The summer dries have been challenging forever. Of the last few years, they seem to have been worse, and it's become very much an autumn thing. So that's a real challenge, especially with capital stock, the breeding stock. It makes it difficult. We're making more hay and baleage, but we're retaining that breeding herd, or we'll probably go to 450 cows rather than 500. That would make a bit of a difference. I think if we were able to raise the capital, all these flats, if they could be well irrigated, and the two droughts, not this last summer, the two previous ones, we had 3 people spending 2 hours a day with a tractor each feeding out. So I do see these 80 odd hectares of flats being potential for irrigation. Behind us here we've got our rising yearling Angus bulls, which will be available for sale in September. They're eating some annual grass. That's the first grazing. That's been sprayed out 4 times now, trying to get rid of kikuyu. Probably every 5 years we have to start spraying out again, because within 2 years the kikuyu is back in about a quarter, and then within 5 years it's damn near 100%, and it restricts the other grasses, and it's too good a land not to have the high quality grass. When we first started with our Angus, we had to make a decision what line we went down, and after a few years we decided that the market that wasn't touched was the yearling market, and ease of calving and heifer mating. Our market is about 55–60% beef and 40% dairy, and our dairy clients understand the ease of calving and are prepared to pay pretty well for their bulls. They compete with beef farmers. I like to think that our clients don't like to get up in the middle of the night to check their heifers, and hopefully they don't. What we've got here is rising 2-year-old 3/4 Angus, quarter Jersey, which are out of our half-bred Jersey Angus cows. An animal like this is the 3/4 bred that we sent to the stake of origin 3 years ago and won outright with that, but we've also won outright with an Angus animal. It comes down to economy. They're not a big cow, they don't grow big, they produce a damn good calf. You've got 425 kilogram heifers or producing a 250 kilogram calf. That's pretty economical. My good friends in the Angus fraternity, a lot of them look down at us for doing it. They don't like to accept the fact that it can work successfully. Others understand it, it's, I don't want a big, huge breeding cow. You want something that's not going to eat too much grass and will produce a good animal. But you must mate them very, very carefully. You've got to use a very meaty bull over the animals. Come on, Gus. I'm quite sure that our success in the stake of origin comes down to genetics, the type of cattle that we breed, which is a quicker maturing animal. And if you look at the people that have been most successful in the last 10 years, many of them are breeding very similar cattle. Forbes Cameron, who won this year, has been a bull partner with me. We've had 2 bulls in partnership, and he breeds a similar one. Alistair Sharp, same thing. We have a duty to put out a good product that is a good eating experience. I actually recently went to a Sport New Zealand conference where the title was Walking in Your Customer's Shoes, and it was so appropriate not only for our sports trust, Sport Northland, but also on my own property. Do we think about our customers? Do we know who our customers are? You know, we need to think about that every time when we're raising our animals. We've never had to consider succession in the past because no one was interested in the farm, and all of a sudden 2 years ago Joanne and Charles, our daughter and son-in-law, came home, which was welcome. So now we're dealing with it, and in July next year Joanne and Charles will be leasing half the farm, a complete block at the other end where their house is. We started our first discussions in August last year, and we were looking at purchase in 5 years' time of some sort, and that was going to be difficult because I don't want to get out of here. And my accountant, Joan and I were talking to our accountant, and he said, well, there's nothing wrong with leasing for a start and looking at purchase, and it all made sense to me, and I thought, well, we could start, instead of waiting 5 years, let's do it quicker and give them there's a clear division with another property that we bought 20 odd years ago, so that's what's going to happen, and we're all looking forward to it. We've spoken to banks, and they're quite supportive, and it just makes sense. We'll probably set a purchase price at the same time. I would struggle on the whole lot. I would struggle to become the boy or even to move off the farm. We've spent a lot of time getting it to how we want it, our home, our orchard, our facilities around here. So this works so well. I think that it will probably be a little bit challenging for us economically for a start, I think, to make sure that they get they don't want anything special, but it's got to be affordable.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.